In a small town nestled among dense forests, there stood an old house with a sagging roof and windows that seemed to glare at the world with silent reproach. Locals called it the Mirror House because of the massive antique mirror in the central hall, framed in tarnished bronze. They said it had been there long before the house was built, its origins unknown. No one dared to move it. I was a philosophy student, visiting the town that summer to write an essay on the nature of fear. I'd always been fascinated by why people dread the unexplainable and how fear shapes their perception of reality. My eccentric professor, Dr. Kovalenko, suggested I stay at the Mirror House. There, he said, you will find answers or questions. It depends on how deeply you're willing to look. He settled into the house, greeted by creaking floorboards and the smell of damp wood. The mirror in the hall immediately caught my eye. It was enormous, nearly as tall as a person, its surface cloudy, as if veiled by a thin mist. I decided it was the perfect subject for my reflections. A mirror as a symbol of truth, self-discovery, and perhaps the fear of what we see within it. The first night was uneventful. I read Nietzsche and jotted down notes about his idea of staring into the abyss. But on the second night, I woke to a strange sound, soft tapping, like fingers brushing against glass. I lit a lamp and checked the room. Nothing. Silence. Downstairs, the mirror reflected the dim moonlight streaming through a window. I approached it and froze. Something was off. My reflection's movements lagged, just a fraction of a second behind. I waved my hand. It followed, but with a subtle delay. A trick of exhaustion, I told myself, and went back to bed. The next night, the tapping returned, louder, more insistent. I went to the mirror again. This time, I noticed my reflection wasn't just lagging. It was smiling. I was certain my face was grim. I stepped closer, and the smile widened, almost sinister. I backed away, my heart racing. It's just the light, I thought, or my imagination. Fear is merely the brain's response to the unknown. But I didn't sleep that night. By morning, I approached it philosophically. What is fear? A confrontation with the unknown, something beyond the familiar. The mirror, perhaps, was a catalyst, forcing me to face my own thoughts. I recalled Sartre's idea that we fear not the external world, but our own freedom, our own emptiness. Was I afraid of the mirror, or of what it might reveal about me? On the third night, I conducted an experiment. I placed a candle before the mirror, lit it, and stared at my reflection, seeking the source of this fear. The reflection stared back, but its eyes seemed darker, deeper than mine. I spoke aloud. Who are you? What do you want? The reflection's lips moved, mimicking my words, but with a mocking tone. A chill ran through me. Then I heard a whisper, not from the mirror, but inside my head. You're not afraid of me. You're afraid of what I know. I leaped up, knocking over the candle. The room plunged into darkness. In the silence, I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, coming from the mirror. I struck a match, but no one was there. Only the mirror, now showing no reflection of me. Instead, there was a shadow, vague, formless, but alive. It moved, as if trying to escape the glass. I fled the house and never returned. The locals, hearing my story, only shook their heads. The mirror shows the truth, an old man said, but truth is rarely kind. I went back to university but never wrote the essay. Instead, I began to wonder, what if fear isn't just a reaction to the unknown, but a warning that we've come too close to what we shouldn't know? What if the truth we seek, as philosophers, isn't light, but darkness? Now, when I look in ordinary mirrors, I always check if the movements match. And sometimes, in the quietest nights, I hear footsteps, not from outside, but within me. Question for others. Have you ever encountered something that made you question whether fear comes from the outside world or from within yourself? What was it? And how did it change your